Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I thought I'd do a short video on the challenges of trying to grow jujubes in the UK, and particularly the problems with trying to grow them in containers, which in our climate they don't suit at all. Now, one of the issues we get here is our climate is not really, our summers are not hot. Although we have a mild winter, our summers are not hot enough for jujubes, or long enough. They don't get triggered into waking up from dormancy quite as early as ideally you would need, and this is exacerbated by growing them in containers, because they tend to be later waking up in containers than they are in the ground. You've got a better chance of growing them in ground, but obviously you haven't got the space. Now, this one is my Lee, and I'm filming this in the last week of August, and it has in fact been setting fruit. But the problem is, although it started flowering early in July, until we got the hot, a particularly warm spell at the end of July, beginning of August, none of the flowers were setting fruit. They were literally all just coming off. They were just falling off the flowers without setting. Now, next to it I've got a lang which has set not one single fruit. The Lee, on the other hand, has set fruit, but the problem is we're at the end of August and these fruits are only about 3 or 4 millimeters long, maybe 5 millimeters, so they're not even bigger than 1/4 of an inch. So although there's a fair number of fruits set on it, they're a tiny little acorn shape. It's got them down here, it's got them down here. They're mostly the same size. That one's probably fractionally bigger, but because these plants start to head into dormancy at the end of September, they've only got about 4 weeks development, and I would say these fruits are a good 2 months of warm weather from getting to a remotely edible size. And I'm not talking about full size jujube, I'm just talking about one that might be potentially be edible, probably won't have seeds in. So it's very frustrating, and of course growing them in containers just makes the situation worse, because they don't have access to controlling the nutrients and water they would if they were in grounds. But obviously they're having a bigger garden, there's nothing I can do about it. It is, however, very rewarding to see the fruit set, and it may have Lee is meant to be self-pollinating, so it may have partly pollinated itself, and it may have been pollinated by the lang that's next to it, but clearly none of the lang flowers have been pollinated by the Lee, because, as I said, despite having hundreds of flowers, it hasn't set a single fruit. So it may well be that it's a less fertile tree anyway. But I have put them in these huge fabric bags this year, which I redid in the spring, and that of course would have shocked the plants as well. So I'm hoping that this time, now they're in a much bigger container, they might, after winter, wake up a bit earlier, and if we get obviously some hot weather next year, maybe we will get what might be considered an edible sized fruit. I'm sure that Joe's in-ground trees have got much bigger fruits on them by now, and he may get some edible fruits this year. So that's Joe of Joe's Tropicals, so I'll be looking forward to seeing his jujube updates, which will probably come out in September. But it's good to see that fruit can set, but frustrating that they've set at least a month too late to be of any use to me. So that's my jujube, or Chinese date, Ziziphus jujuba. And this particular variety that has been setting is Lee. And obviously I've got one rootstock plant that's still alive, and 2 very small dong rooted cuttings that came from Jurassic plants. So I suppose in the future, if I can keep them all going, I might have a better chance of earlier cross-pollination. Thanks for watching the video. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video if you think you've got people who'd be interested. Subscribe to my channel and remember to click on the bell if you do want updates on new videos when they come out. I'll see you all soon. Brett out for now.